Hello, welcome to the Coach to Owner podcast series. It's Billy here, the host. We've got a really exciting guest today, something I'm really excited about. Obviously, we're a network called Superstar Sport and a company and a brand called Superstar Sport. And our goal, we're active about getting... we're not active, we're passionate, sorry. We are passionate about getting children active across the country. And we've got somebody today who is responsible for thousands of children in the territories and the areas that he works in. And he gets thousands of children, tens of thousands of children active across the country every single day. He's somebody who's really impacted my life personally, someone who's a great friend and who I absolutely love talking to all the time. So just a conversation today with yours truly, franchise director, friend, brilliant person, husband, Mr. Chris Lindsey. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning, Mr. Densham. How are you? It's been a long journey.
Yeah,
it's been
good.
A long journey. Thanks for having me on this morning. Excited to be here.
All good, mate. All good. Looking forward to it, mate. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling great. Bit tired. Been up since 4. But it's all good. We keep moving. I'm just excited to be here. Glad to be behind the microphone again. We'll get into that a little bit further on down the podcast.
I look forward to talking about it.
Yeah, glad to be behind the mic again. So, yeah.
How do you feel about, like, I find it quite weird, like, nowadays, like, I've done a few of these. I think it's like the 5th, 6th podcast that we've recorded. And I find it strange. You feel good? Feel good in the setting?
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. Look, I love chatting. Love the sound of my own voice. Love having conversations. So no, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive about the conversation. Hopefully we'll get some good content, get some good nuggets, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, brilliant. And I've got, look, we'll have a chat about kind of your early journey and your transition into business and the sporting industry and the sports coaching industry. But you've got so many nuggets, mate, that people listening can take, because ultimately you're a really, really high performer and you're absolutely smashing it. You're achieving so many great things. So really look forward to touching base on that as the conversation grows and goes. And the reason I asked about being on the podcast is because out of everyone I know, you talk the most.
Never heard that before, Bill. No, from anyone, yeah.
So I was like, this is obviously probably zero nerves and will be a good conversation. So Chris, talk to me about, look, you're smashing it. You're a multi-unit owner. You're running a business that's doing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds in turnover, which we'll touch on in a little bit more detail. But talk to me about kind of what got you into business, your mindset, because something you mentioned there, straight away, in with a nugget, bang. I've been up since 4 a.m. And we had a conversation recently on the podcast about working hard isn't enough anymore. And Joe, what I agree, you can't just work hard. You can't just get up early and go to bed late and everyone else. You have to have substance in it. However, if you have got the substance and you add hard work on top of it, I tell you what, you're untouchable. And you definitely grind, mate. You're a grinder. You've got a brilliant mindset. Where's that come from?
Do you know what, Bill? I'm not too sure. I've been thinking about this, obviously, in preparation for this. I thought it was sort of, I had like a bit of a moment. Obviously, when I joined head office, I was ops manager there, working under Angelo. And I remember him actually constantly being in the office, playing Eric Thomas videos, playing all this motivational stuff. At first, I was like, I have a day off, mate. But it really grew on me. Yeah. And he actually gave me a book once called Property Magic, actually. Yeah. And I was on holiday, and it was the first long haul holiday I've ever been on. So I was buzzing to be there. Yeah. Dominican Republic, really excited. Thought I'd made it, before it was just Spain. Not that there's anything wrong with Spain, but long haul holiday. And I was sitting there reading that book, and I had a penny drop, and I thought, wow, there's so many different ideas and different ways to make money. And I actually thought that was the point. But when I actually thought a little bit further back, it goes a lot further back than that. I actually, in year 6, I don't know if you know the game called Tomb Raider. Me and a friend who's a friend at times, his name was Josh, we actually put it out there to universe and all of my classmates that we were going to make the next Tomb Raider. And obviously we got laughed at the room. We had all these illustrations. I was such a fan of Lara Croft, and I was like, this is what we can do. We made this long book. So that was sort of the first time I sort of had that inkling of, I want to do something different. I want to do something special. I want to do something magic. But then it goes, obviously, the biggest part for me was at about the age of 14. I come from an area where the grime scene was very big, musical grime scene. So I actually MC'd, actually took it relatively far. Used to go on pirate radio stations. Me and one of my good friends, Myron, got like a record deal when we were 17. And he was hands down more talented than me as a musician. I can see that now. But I was the person that was always like, mate, we need to go after, we need to contact these venues, we need to get these flyers out, we need to record this, we need to make sure we've got the artwork done for that. Selling myself on Facebook from like the age of 15, 16. So I actually think that's where it started. And I just thought to myself, I can't just have again, nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't for me to just go work for someone for the rest of my life and have a 9 to 5. And I think that's where it started.
Yeah. A couple of things on that, and I love it. And I didn't know the Tomb Raider story.
I forgot to the other day. Yeah.
But I knew a bit about the MC, and I want to touch base on that a little bit. But you mentioned two things to me there, yeah? One is being in year 6, coming up with fresh new ideas and being innovative, and showing like an entrepreneurial mindset at that age. Taking that into, say, the MCing work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Then you mentioned later on in the journey, having a job at SSS head office. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to talk for you because I feel the same. Being inspired by Angelo.
Yeah,
like
100%.
I was inspired by that man. Yeah, like so much. And I've mentioned it a few times on the pod about like him being a role model. Someone's a year older than me who just understood business, life, self-awareness, self-accountability so well, and I took so much from it. And having that like open mind and approach to life. But he inspired you then, but you've shown signs of entrepreneurship and hard work before that.
Yeah.
And I want to dig deep into that. Like I want to understand, what was it as a young, and you might not know the answer, but what was it as a young man that made you go, I'm going to go out and grind and work so hard and get after it and have a positive mindset? Because you're infectious.
Thanks.
Like being around you makes me happier, makes me positive. Like, where's that come from? Is it like any kind of early childhood memories? Is it family? What makes you like that?
I think so. And I want to try and not keep reverting back to money, because it's not all about that. I didn't grow up poor, but I also didn't grow up wealthy. So I went to a school in Cheshunt, and a lot of my good friends went to a school called Goffs, and they all used to play for Cuffley, very affluent area. I had a lot of friends in affluent areas, and I there's loads of different pockets. I had, friends in inner cities of London, people outskirts, affluency. And I saw what my parents done, and I love my parents to bits, honestly. Still to this day, great family unit. They're still together, which I'm very, very blessed to have. I just thought to myself, this isn't going to be my life. I'm not going to get up every morning, go to work at 9 o'clock, clock off at 5, go home, have my dinner, go to bed. I need to be busy. I need to be doing something fresh all the time. I need different ideas. So I think a lot of it stems from wanting the same family connection as I grow, but wanting something different for myself. My granddad, my dad's dad, was a business owner. He moved here from Montserrat, a very small island in the Caribbean, when he was 19 years old. And, he had car shops and panel beating shops, and he's always seen that in me, and we sort of had that connection now. He said it skipped a generation. Your dad was very, just happy to work for me, and he said, I really see that's what you wanted. I hope that's answered the question. I think that's where it comes from.
And
just
look,
family.
It's a tough question, isn't it? Because how often do you think about that? Like it's and actually sitting here talking about yourself is like, I know I dislike talking about, if someone thinks I've done something well, it's hard to talk about it sometimes because you don't want to like big yourself up. But but there's definitely a connection there early on between like how hard you want to work, because you've mentioned like being aware that you wanted more, like seeing people who had more and being like, oh, I want more. But then the link there to hard work is like, what, like, because you work hard, man, like, and not even just in business. I mean, in life, like you look good. You're in the gym. You're working out 5-6 days a week. You're on top of your health. you're a hard working individual. And it's what is that link? Is that ingrained? Do you think that's taught? Do you think that's something that people can just pick up? Because you are definitely seeing the fruits of that labour, aren't you? That hard work.
Yeah, no. Honestly, like exercise is something for me it's changed my life. Yeah. I was quite an overweight child. Started going to the gym at sort of 15, 16, and I feel that was like the first pillar for me that I built and kept replicating. It's like, this makes me feel great. Yeah. And I think mental health is a big subject nowadays, but when I was 15, 16, you didn't really understand that. It's like, I'm gonna go gym and just get a big chest. Where it's now, it's like, it's not even for that anymore. It's just the fact that, and it's that discipline. It's that having that early discipline to get it done. I also think as well, a lot of it is validation. I'll be honest with you. I always put it down. I'm an August birthday, right? So obviously I was young in the year, but I really struggled the first few years in school to the point where some of my teachers thought I, was SEN.
Yeah.
And I struggled with that. And I think it was just sort of getting that validation from my parents, getting that validation from my friends that I can do more. Because it was always like, I still am to this day. I'm a bit all over the place. I'm a bit clumsy. And my friends is always like, oh, it's typical Chris, he does this, he does that. And it was sort of proving to people, not only for myself, but for other people, that I can do something, go out there and be somebody.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you definitely are clumsy. if I threw you a ball, mate, trying to watch you catch that is
That's
mental.
improved recently, Bill, actually. I know, that's improved. Do you know what, as well, really, just on a side note, a funny one, I'll tell you something. MTV Cribs, mate, watching that as a child. And and being, is this possible?
Yeah.
Like, how does this work? How do people acquire this? And sort of watching that again, I know it's going down the materialism route again, but we're just sitting here to be honest today. So
and there's definitely a link there. Like when you think of franchising, like seeing success and thinking I can have a bit of that. Like there's kind of a link there as well, because of the franchise model, like people are now seeing your success, thinking that's achievable. There's a model to get that, which is brilliant. Which is why it's why I love franchising, because ultimately it's a proven model where someone can look at something and go, well, I want that life, I want that flexibility, I want to make that impact.
Yeah,
I can go and do it now, and I can follow that person's model, but I have to apply the hard work to it and really work as hard as I can. Yeah. Going on to the point, so you're a young lad, yeah, you've got loads of energy, and you want to be successful, and you want to get all of like the life's good stuff. You start working, I'm guessing. Are you coaching? What are you doing?
Yeah, okay, brilliant. This is, so I actually started, I think we all do, right? I stumbled into football coaching. I was working over a facility, well, I say working, I was helping build, carrying bricks over a facility in Loughton called the Football Academy. One of my good friends at the time, his dad got us a job there because he had the five-a-side centre. Went down there, was just bit of a gopher, go and do this, go and do that. And then one day they said, we're launching our soccer schools in a few weeks. And it wasn't even, Chris, would you like to get your football coach qualification? The owner, very interesting character, said to me, Chris, you're going on this course. And I was like, okay, I'll go on the course. They paid for it, went and done my level 1 football qualification, was working down there Saturday mornings. I loved it. I used to do a session in the morning, obviously, assisting at the start, but I learned on the job. I'd then sit on the desk, count the money, do the five-a-side bookings, and then I'd knock out 3 birthday parties in the afternoon. So Saturdays, sort of 9 till 5. And at the time, I used to get about 80 quid in my hand at the end of the day. And that was just money for the evening. Yeah. But that's what it was. And just seeing that pound note in my hand, because it was all cash back then, and sort of having that tangible money in my hand and thinking, if I work hard, I'll get paid for it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I'm sure we're going to, but later on down the line, I started to realise that you can only work so hard like that, and you have to start thinking about other streams of income and other ways of making money when you're not necessarily there. But I think that's where the hard work started. That was the age of 15.
Yeah. Funny, because the Football Academy is like, from me being from a similar area of Loughton, was like, that played a role in so many lives. Like I remember going down there as probably from the ages like 13 to 18, every single day playing football on like the inflatable five-a-side football pitches and stuff like that. We probably like bumped into each other and stuff. Yeah.
And do you know what? It wasn't the most ethical place in the world, but some of the life lessons I learned from that place. And just like one example, one time they used to do functions there in the evening, and my manager at the time gave me £200 and said, I was obviously of age to buy alcohol. Said, Chris, please go to the wholesaler. Here's £200. Here's the list. Go and buy all of the alcohol. No problem. Drove down there. Put all the alcohol on the desk, and wholesaler says, that's £230, please. So I rang him and said, just so you're aware, it's come to 230, but I've only got 200. And his comment was, make it work. Basically, pay for it yourself. Yeah. And I was like, okay, no problem at all. But just those sort of, I call it an entry fee. I think everything in life, there's an entry fee, and there's times where you have to shovel, as you will, before you get that level, that form of entitlement to sort of call the shots and make decisions.
Really good point. We had Daniel Priestley on a recent podcast.
Yeah, that was a great watch. It was a great watch. I enjoyed that.
Going to throw that in there. But Daniel's point around was everyone starts as an apprentice. He's like, the life lessons that you can get as an apprentice are so valuable for the later on successes that you'll get out of life. So for me, it was walking up and down the beach selling tickets in Spain. It was sitting in a call center selling solar panels. Like I deem myself to be a success at this stage in my life. Nowhere near as successful as I want to be. So much improvement to be made. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I'm just constantly trying to be better, be kind, be a good person and keep improving. But I wouldn't even be at this level if I didn't spend them months in them call centres or walking up and down that beach thinking, if I don't sell these tickets, I can't eat tonight. Like, they were learners for me. They were such big learners. And I definitely relate so much to what you mentioned there. And actually, in today's society, I do think people want to get there so quickly, don't they? Like,
yeah, we're an instant society, aren't we? You know, you need something, you Google it. You want a song, you Shazam it. I do feel that it's still possible, but I still feel like it's lost a lot now with the younger generation because everything's so instant. Oh, just get a phone and I'll just start recording content. But sometimes I think, who's more fortunate? I love the fact that we had to obtain those skills through practicality. Yeah. Whereas they don't really you don't need to do that now. A lot of people still do, but you have the option to start a business from your phone within hours.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think the biggest lesson of that for me, when I talk about you, and I'm going to talk about you for a second here,
that's fine,
is there's one thing that you're exceptionally good at. And I think you're good at so many things, mate. But there's one thing, and the reason you're so successful in this industry, running a franchise with Superstar Sport, is you are so good with people, and you're so good at networking, and you're so good at just having conversations and building relationships and building rapport. And we had a conversation, I can't remember whether this week in one of our meetings, and you were talking about how, I was like, you've grown, I think you've grown like 40% in the last financial year, your territory. You've absolutely smashed it. Hundreds of £1,000, well on your way to £1 million turnover. And I said to you, like, what's the magic? Because I want to release that across the network. And your answer was, I just see value in rapport. Like, do you think that's linked to those early experiences as well? Like,
most definitely. And I want to reframe that. It's not that I see value in rapport, and I do, but I genuinely care about rapport. Yeah. I don't think you can teach it. I think you can improve upon it, but if you genuinely care, you care. And like you just said, definitely comes from my early upbringing. I'm a bit of a chameleon, and I can go in, in a pub with the geezers, and have a chat. And then I could go into, I'm bald now, but I could go into a Jamaican barbershop and speak patois and speak with the brothers, and mix it up, and code switch, as they call it. But the difference is, it's not fake. It's just different parts of me. Yeah. It's building different pockets and being comfortable in any room, or, going to sit with a head teacher and understand that there's a way you speak to those people. And it's not fake. It's just matching and making them feel comfortable and letting them understand that we can have a relationship. We might look different genders, but you can find common ground. You can find common ground with anyone, in my opinion.
And ultimately, you're totally right about when you say, like, you care about it. You definitely care about doing your best to make other people happy. Be it a head teacher that you're working with and you want to improve their sports provision, and you care about, look, I want to build this rapport with you because I want to support the children. I want to help you overcome your challenges and obstacles and understand it a bit more. And being in the Jamaican barbers or down the pub with a few of your mates, like, I definitely see value in the way that you talk to people, is that you listen, you take it on board, and you want to support, and you're a caring person, which is,
and everyone's human. Like, you think about our team, like, even the way people frame things, again, personal opinion, when people say, oh, my coach, it's like, no, our team, like, we're a team, everyone's a human being, and it's about actually having a genuine interest in, dogs or football or music. Everyone you speak to is going to have some form of interest, in my opinion, that you have an interest with. It's just about finding that. And once you have a common interest, it's an organic, authentic conversation. Yeah. It's not just, I'm going to have a conversation with this person about this. I think even some of our team, some of them, I speak to them about work, and they are passionate about it, but then I know they're really interested in football. And the minute I bring up football, their eyes just change.
Yeah.
And they want to have the conversation. But I love football as well. It's not me being fake.
Yeah.
It's just that this is the conversation we're going to have because I know we can build rapport on that.
Yeah. Want to find that common interest when you talk to people. No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So important. So obviously you're involved in football coaching. Done your FA level 1. At that point, I've been a young coach now. Start looking for jobs. Was you like? Did you think like, oh, I like the industry now? Like, let me start looking at what to do, or
So I loved working with. Well, I still do, but I love coaching children, and the standard over there, by the way, was excellent. Over like the standard of football over in Essex was great. So I really enjoyed that. At the same time, I was on my music path, thinking I was going to be the next big thing. And I was working really hard with that. I was also doing my A-levels and university. It sort of overlapped into one. So I was only working part-time. But the music also, in my opinion, links to coaching. It's a performance all of the time. You're always performing. You're always engaging. You know, you engage in a crowd if you're doing a gig. You engage in the children or the adults if you're coaching. You're engaging the head teacher if you're having a conversation. It's an authentic performance, and that's why I think I love conversation so much. It's just trying to be comfortable with that. But yeah, sorry, I think I've gone the wrong way around. I was doing part-time. I then was working for another organisation in Enfield, doing lunchtimes, after-school clubs. And then when I left university, part of my degree was business. The other side was music, obviously because of the music stuff. The organisation I was working with wasn't giving me enough work. And that's when I bumped heads with Angelo. And funny enough, it was actually Angelo's old business partner that actually went to my school. So I contacted him and said, look, I need more hours. Is there anything happening, anything going on? Excellent, come for an interview. It was himself and Angelo who interviewed, but immediately I gravitated towards Angelo.
Yeah.
And everything that he said, I was like, you know, this guy's got so much energy. Started doing mornings for Superstar Sport, still doing afternoons with the other organisation. And I felt a bit lost at this point, to be transparent with you, especially at this time as well, because this is when life got real and it felt like the music is like, oh, aren't we? Are we? I'm not too sure. And then I do believe in luck to an extent. Hard work and luck, and obviously having good standards and positioning yourself. But it just so happened that at the time where Superstar Sport was starting to expand, you know, back in the day, we were just we winged it, right? As you do, young business people. And Angelo was like, oh, Chris, you know, you're a good coach. You're on time all the time. We're looking for an ops manager. Do you fancy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, mate. What can we do? Oh, we do the schedule. Speak to the coaches. Oh, actually, you can do sales as well. Oh, actually, you can do this as well. Yeah. It's sort of a well-rounded collection of different roles within the organisation for the first year or so as ops manager. And that's about the age of 23.
Yeah. And it's going back to that, like, obviously it's not an apprenticeship, but that learning the tools,
100%.
like being on the tools, understanding, getting that real life experience of how to deal with things in the real world, not the theory. University is great for so many things, but actually getting into the dirt there, wanting success immediately, learning your trade, and then ultimately being in a position to deal with that moving forward. Absolutely, couldn't agree anymore. You actually interviewed me, didn't you?
I think, yeah.
I actually think it was you and Gary interviewed me. I literally, cause it just popped into my head when you was talking about your interview. It was 2013, I think, and you interviewed me for a part-time position.
Okay, probably.
I was wearing my Waltham Abbey Football Club tracksuit.
Yes, I remember. Actually remember the green and white one.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I was wearing that, and you interviewed me. So that's actually mental as well.
Yeah.
So crazy, mate. Been such a wicked journey, which is super. So you then went. You're ops manager. Just a quick question on that. So you're working in Superstar Sport. Obviously, at the time, it's not a franchise. It's just business has started. The team are grinding. They're putting in the hours, doing their best to support local children. At that moment, you're obviously coaching a lot, yeah?
Yeah.
And I've seen you coach, and you're exceptional, yeah?
Thanks.
I would absolutely love you to coach my children. Like, that's, like, you're exceptional. What to you is, like, exceptional coaching? Because you're an exceptional coach. So what is it that you're looking for? For people out there who are sports coaches, I think it's really important they listen to this answer, because I don't believe it's the traditional stuff that everyone would say.
Put me in the spot.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
It goes back to my core values: engagement and rapport. It's, you know, if you dislike the person that's coaching you, you're going to be defiant. You're not going to respect their opinion.
Yeah.
you're not going to play ball, so to speak. And again, it's not to sound manipulative, but if you're working with children and you have a relationship with that child, oh, I love Coach Chris. I really want to impress him. He's asked me to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep trying that. I think that works. I think it goes all the way to adulthood. You coach 16s, 18s. Yeah. I personally think it's the same thing. If you're an 18-year-old at that age, we all think we know everything. Yeah. I certainly did. If you don't like the manager, or, I'm just going to football analogies here, you're not going to listen to him, and you're going to try your hard, potentially, even if it's subconscious, I'm not listening to that. I'm going to do it my way. Completely agree. I think just engagement and looking, assuming that the coach themselves actually is improving the setup, the team, or the athlete, which you assume they would, it's looking for that validation from your coach.
Completely agree. So here's a question for you, yeah? What makes you a better coach, yeah? You specifically, and then from a more general perspective, is it FA level 1 coaching course? Is it the coaching courses? Or is it real world experiences where you learn to take that phone call from that boss who says, make it happen, and you just find a way of getting it done? You learn how to speak to the Jamaican barber. You learn how to speak to your friends in the pub. What is it that makes you a better coach? Is it those real world experiences, or is it jumping on the courses?
Yeah, of course. It's real world experiences, jumping in the deep end, getting a good variety. I'm sure it's the same at head office. We've had a lot of coaches come to us. I coach over Arsenal, but have you run around with a 3-year-old and thrown a bib on your head? Yeah. It's a total different scenario. And I actually always, my belief is it's a great way to start. If you want to end at the elite side of the business, that's absolutely fine. But I think that participation level is vital.
Couldn't agree.
Because at that level as well, Bill, you're trying to cater to children or adults with low confidence. Could be overweight, could be skilled, could not be skilled. You've got a class of 30 children, you're going to get 4 children that are good and grind in a sport. You're going to get 5 children got behavioural issues. You're going to so it's learning how to pocket that and still make that session a success that everyone feels included, leaves and has a great time. If you coach a football team, everyone's of a standard. There's going to be better players. They all want to be there. Yeah. And they're all going to be of a standard. So I think starting, learning, being on your feet, quick on your feet. Okay, I need to adapt that for this group. This is going to work for them. I'm not going to pair those two up because they'll get frustrated and it won't work. So that's my opinion.
I couldn't agree anymore, mate. And this is why I like the coach to owner podcast feel. Yeah. Because I feel like we're all coaches at some level. We're all trying to impact other people through conversation, through rapport, whatever it is. But ultimately, the goal is for me to become an owner of skills, an owner of mindset, an owner of I've had real world experiences and I understand that. We're always learning. Absolutely. 100% we're always learning. But for me, it's don't spend your time, young people who want to get in this industry, just on the theory. There is so much value in jumping on a course, a netball course, a gymnastics course, an FA level 1, doing your UEFA B. There's so much value in this kind of stuff. There's so many things to learn, but don't forget to be approachable, to be fun, to be kind, to have unbelievable core values and morals and be ethical. Because if you've got all the theory and none of that, it just won't translate. And 100%. I would rather play for in any sport, be coached by in any sport, or have my children be coached by somebody who makes them feel like they can conquer the world, 100%. Rather than someone who tells them to receive it on the back foot and play forward. That's I know what I would prefer. Yeah. And I just think that's so important. And that is when I'm speaking to you, speaking to other people in the network, I think that's our goal, isn't it? That's what we're trying to do as a company. That's what we're trying to do when we're working with people. And I do think it links back to core values of positivity in all we do, things that Angelo bangs on about all the time, and he's so right to in them early days of just let's coach in the right way, let's make it super fun, let's make it engaging, let's make it imaginative.
Yeah, it's just being well-rounded, isn't it? As a coach, if you can give someone a well-rounded experience, not just of the skill, but like you said, all of those things is so important. Because let's have it right, sport is not only a sport, it also helps you raise standards. I think about a lot of our team, some of them, very high up in athletics or high up in boxing. They're the coaches with the best timekeeping. I've got a coach that was in the army. They're the best advocates, for things like timekeeping because they learnt that skill while they were doing something outside of working with children. Do you know what I mean?
I had a coach growing up called Warren Fenton. Shout out Warren. I'm going to tag you. Warren Fenton, yeah. And he taught me so much about football. Brilliant coach, one of the best coaches I've worked for, played for. He was super. Absolutely loved playing with him. He is one of the reasons that I'm successful in business because he taught me so many values around like be on time, dress the part, play the part, tuck your shirt in, make sure your boots are clean. Do not turn up and play for me with dirty boots. You won't play a minute in this pitch. Turn up for training. Yeah. You've made a commitment. Make sure you see that commitment through, be it to your teammates, be it to your manager. And I took so many things from a football perspective from him, but actually he turned me into a young man. Yeah. He helped me at such a critical part of my life as well. I was a teenager going through whatever teenagers go through, young men and all these things that happen. And to have somebody who was so high on standards impacted my life so much. And it was so important for me. So yeah, shout out Warren. Love you, mate.
Mr. Miyagi, you know?
Yeah.
No, honestly, you know, but you don't realise it at the time, do you? You think, oh, come on, really?
Absolutely.
But yeah.
No, definitely. So, you become operations manager at head office. Angelo gives you a book around property. That you go away. Whereabouts was you in the world?
Dominican Republic.
Yeah. You're sunning it up. You're on the beach reading your book, Property Magic. Was there a switch that clicked?
Yeah.
Was this? Yeah. What was that?
Well, I can't tell you what it was. I just know that it happened. I remember the moment I was sitting there and I was reading on the Sun Lounger and I read a paragraph and I was like, this is it. Like, like I said, it was the property stuff, but it doesn't have to be the property stuff. It was just, I'm like, I'm going to make something of myself here. I'm not going to just, and again, I need to say, be careful how I word this, not just work for someone, because some people love that and that's absolutely fine. Because I think what we have, Bill, I actually think it's a bit of a gift and a curse. You always want more. You're never pleased, you know, and it can be a gift and a curse. But I just thought to myself, I remember getting back from that holiday and then me and my wife, shout outs to my wife, love her to pieces. We sort of put action steps for that business in when we got back as well.
Yeah, no, do you know what, mate? I love that because when you're talking about, like, I try and think about, we obviously want more franchisees across the country. Yeah, we want to sell more franchises, and I always try and think about how can we market it, because ultimately we want more because we want to get more children active and more children involved in sport. But what you just described there is the magic moment where an entrepreneurial person, somebody who wants more, a person with that mindset around business, it clicks.
Yeah.
And the click for you was self-development. You've read a book. Yeah. So you've read a book that is all around like different ways of making money, showing you there's different options, different achievable. But what else was happening in that moment? You're sitting in the sunshine. Yeah. That's a massive thing. If you read that book on a rainy day in November, would that have gone boom?
No, I need more of this. I need to come to the Dominican 5 times a year. Yeah. How am I going to do that?
Yeah.
It has to be tangible. You need to be able to bottle up the moment.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And my advice, like all the time to people is like, put yourself in situations that make you feel brilliant. Make your body feel brilliant, because you'll get more ideas. You'll be more open-minded. You'll be ready to be braver and make decisions. If you're constantly stuck in the same rot, doing the same things, eating the same terrible food, not going to the gym, not exercising, how can you expect your brain to go, I'm going to come up with an incredible moment that's going to change my life? And you put yourself in that situation, didn't you? You've manufactured that environment that's gone, like, I'm ready to now take the leap.
Yeah. So, well, why do people go and have important business meetings in London? Or it's because, aesthetic and the feeling matters. We're having this meeting on the rooftop of this place and you feel special. It's about, even in business, I think we're doing the same when we're delivering to children. We are selling sports coaching, but we're selling a feeling. We want the children to feel something, right? They say, don't they? They say that I'm just going to put... you buy a premium luxury watch. You're not buying the watch. You're buying the feeling the watch gives you. You know, and what you stand for and how you identify with that object. I think it's the same. Going back to rapport building, I think it's the same with coaching. This coach made me feel great. Yeah, I want to feel this again.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree anymore. And you remember those moments that were impactful, that made you feel brilliant. And you've remembered that moment. You've remembered sitting on that beach.
Random moment.
Yeah, and feeling brilliant, reading the book. This ultimately changed it all for you. So, no, really impactful, and definitely a lesson there about self-development, reading the book, getting given the book or being told about the book at ETC is super. So when was the moment that you realised that franchising was an opportunity? And did you ever know anything about franchising before? Like, because I didn't. Before I got into the industry, if someone asked me, I was trying to think this the other day, I was like, if I was 18 and someone said to me, what is franchising? What would I have said? Like, I probably would have just said McDonald's.
I was literally about to say the same thing. Yeah, no, I suppose I had a vague idea. Didn't know that so many existed. I didn't know exactly how they worked, of course. Obviously, where I was at head office, it was very apparent to me. It's not something I had to go out and look for.
Yeah.
Because obviously there was a few franchisees prior to myself while I was still working at head office. So, yeah, and I think for me, as business-minded as I am, I definitely saw the value in the franchise model because there are things that I absolutely hate to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I feel the value of the franchise is that I hate red tape. I hate writing policies. There's certain things that you get with the franchise and being part of the network that maybe I wouldn't have pushed myself to do.
Yeah.
I really do believe you have to be engaged and enjoy something to do it.
Yeah.
I enjoy building rapport. I like building the team. I like coaching. That's that side of the business, which I was able to manage. You can go back to school. I got an E in maths. I got a D in science because I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
PE, aced. Drama, aced. But things I don't enjoy, I won't apply myself to. And I think that's the same for most people. But I think for me, that's when I saw what the other franchisees were doing and I saw sort of what went with it all. And being a business owner, I felt like it was, I don't want to say a compromise for me, but it wasn't totally going a fresh start on my own.
Yeah.
It was a blueprint that I felt like I helped develop, within head office as well, that I can go off and do myself. And again, going back to, rapport building, to be totally transparent with you, Bill, and I'm sure I've had this conversation with Angelo, I maybe could have gone off and started my own, but I valued me and Angelo's relationship.
Well, this was the question.
More than a few quid.
I asked Leon this question because Leon was the same. Yeah. You and Leon worked in head office, were incredibly high performers in head office, extremely successful. And at that stage, you definitely could have set up your own business. Yeah. Now, would it have been as successful? Would you have got to this level? We don't know. We haven't got that case study. But what we do know is that you definitely could have started your own business. Yeah. Away from Superstar Sport, almost competed with Superstar Sport, but you chose not to, and Leon chose not to. And I'm really intrigued to know why, because that's special. That is special in itself that you've decided to continue the journey with Superstar Sport. What do you feel that is?
Core values, relationships.
Yeah.
And I suppose the culture, of the business as well. Like I said, I wasn't there at the beginning, at the exact beginning, but I felt like I helped it grow, as I'm sure Leon did as well. And I just wanted to come on the journey. And I genuinely believed in what we were doing for children and where the company were heading. Yeah. So I think it was important to stay part of that network.
I definitely think it definitely explains our core values. Like to me, it's almost like a case study that a lot of companies jump online and core values and mission statements and culture is mentioned a lot to a point where it's probably buzzwords, yeah? Mm-hmm. And can you believe any of it? I don't know. I'm not here to talk about other companies, yeah? But that's life, yeah? Mm-hmm. But that, to me, proves it. Mm-hmm. Because if it wasn't there, if you didn't feel that respected, if you didn't feel that looked after, if you didn't feel like, not me, because I was barely involved at that point, if you didn't feel like Angelo wanted you to be that successful and he cared that much about you, you definitely would have gone and done it yourself. Yeah, and correct. I think that says a lot about Ange and about like what we're trying to build collectively together. So I really appreciate that answer, mate. I think it definitely says a lot, which is super. Do you remember like the first conversation about the franchise model? Do you remember that? Or?
Funny story, actually. I actually Me and Ange we were coming to a bit of a head at this time because I think my work was starting to drop off.
Yeah.
Not because I lost respect for Ange, but because my head was turned.
Yeah.
I wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Probably a year before it happened. And I was about to have a meeting with Ange at 7 a.m. and he didn't turn up for the meeting. And he probably won't remember this.
Yeah.
Was it? I think it was at the office in Waltham Abbey. But that was supposed to be the first conversation. But obviously after that, we sat down, we decided in the territory. And I was so excited. I was just so excited to just go and get my teeth into it. And, you know, it's funny, Bill, because when my first intention, when I purchased the territory, all I said to myself was, I just want to be my own boss. All I want to do is replace the income I'm earning at head office and I'll be happy.
I've heard this all before.
That was the first. I thought, once I get to X amount, I'll be happy. And then I'll just maintain it and everything will be rosy. And obviously, 8 years later, it hasn't worked out that way. But I think, you know, that's the way my brain works. But
well, it's definitely worked out. I wouldn't say it hasn't worked out, but what I mean by that is that my story was very similar. I just want my wife, who I love dearly, a couple of children, chocolate Labrador. That's all I want in my life. X, Y, Z. I put a financial figure on that, and then you get to that point and you're like, I want more of this.
I want more of this,
when does it end? When does it stop? And we actually spoke to Daniel about actually we should set a point of like, this is what I'm trying to achieve, and then having like some kind of next step off that, because
it won't work, Bill.
Yeah, well, look, I think it's something that we should definitely look at, because ultimately the successes start not to mean anything. You're a hamster on a rabbit wheel, whereas you want to be like, I'm getting closer to that moment, to that point, that end point. But for me, it's just like I've got a couple of, I use the word addictions. It's not addictions, but every time I open Facebook or Instagram and I see just a child smiling because there's someone in purple next to him, I'm like, how can I not want more of that? Because it's so impactful. It means so much, and it's like, I get to go to bed every night just thinking, oh, we've done that. Be it Karen in our finance team, her job has ultimately ended up with a child smiling and being active. So I just think that's brilliant.
I'm going to ask you a question if you don't mind. So you know, you said about setting parameters for when enough is enough. You might not have the answer to this. For you, is it a lifestyle thing, or is it a financial thing, or is it a bit of both? Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
no, for me, it's definitely competitive. I like to compete, and what I mean by that is that I want to be the biggest sports coaching company in the United Kingdom, because I like to compete.
I was going to ask why.
I like to compete. I like to be number one. Be it when I was a 16-year-old and we had a pre-season running session, I had to win it. I weren't happy just being fit enough. I had to win that running session. So for me, it's like there's a competition element. Secondly to that, I'm so desperate to personally make my family proud. I want to give my wife choices. To not work, to be able to raise our children in any which way she wants, to be able to make choices with her life and have freedom to make those choices. So that means a lot to me. I mentioned about, obviously, the impact we're making. The social impact is so important. So I want to continue on with that. I think that's really important. But finally to that, it's for my mental health.
Okay.
I have to be working towards something. I had goals. We had a conversation, me, you and Jed, who's sitting behind the camera. We had a conversation on the way here about like a professional athlete who may have like depression or maybe struggling at the moment. And you said a quote that I've never heard before, and it was like, imagine having everything but feeling like you've got nothing. And it really, like, when we was walking, I was thinking about it loads. I was like, that must be really, really sad, like getting to that point. So I love the journey. I love the days that it's tough. My car broke down this morning at 5:30 in the morning. It was a challenge. It was an absolute challenge. Got through it, made it work, found other routes, eventually got to the station, got here, made sure I was here on time, and that was a challenge. What do we want to get to a point where I wake up with nothing to do, like no goal in front of me. Like to me, goal
dangerous.
setting, goal setting is so important.
For me, having nothing to do is dangerous for me.
So same question to you, mate. Like what?
I think similar. My family dynamic's different. I don't have a child at the moment. I assume the dial will move if and when I do. It is definitely, like you've said, there's definitely purpose in what we do. It's a shame we don't get out to see it as much, but by us obviously empowering, the team and making sure they're the best they can be, we're still having an impact, which is great. But I think the same as you, Bill, like definitely for my family to I can't use that word again, to prove to my family. I think I've already proved it to my family. That's what I need to understand. Make my wife happy, be the best version of myself, and just the freedom and lifestyle is massive for me. And I know we've had this conversation before. And me and Angie have this running joke all the time. I don't have an office, and I don't want to say I never will, but I'm very reluctant to have an office because when I started this journey, I wanted to build a lifestyle where I could work from where I want, when I want. And I also feel that, and I appreciate having a team in the office is excellent, but I feel like I would then I'd be obligated to be there.
Yeah.
And if I'm not there, subconsciously people are asking questions. Oh, we're sitting here grafting for Superstar Sport. Where's Chris today?
Yeah.
I'd probably be still working at home, to be transparent. But I like having that freedom. So me, lifestyle is a big thing. Travel, I thrive off travel. You said about that magic moment in Dominican.
Yeah.
Just being away, like I said, meeting people, having relationships with people that, I've met, funny enough, on that holiday in the Dominican, me and my wife met a couple who actually came to our wedding. Like that sort of thing, like meeting new people. And also, when meeting new people and meeting people from all around the world, it makes me realise my problems are not problems.
Yeah,
and that's not to say that, I'm not saying they have bigger problems, but we're a tiny, if you're in the office every day and that's a challenge zone, right?
Yeah.
If you have that same challenge sitting on a beach, the challenge just feels different.
Yeah.
But I'm on the beach.
Yeah.
It doesn't all matter. We all have the ability to start again and just have an adventure. Sorry, that was really long-winded.
No. I think like running a lifestyle business is brilliant. I think that's exactly what the model gives, and I'm so glad that you're getting that out of it. I think it's brilliant. Like you're at the David Lloyd with your team, like you get your workout in, you feel brilliant. The food's good there. You get to like enjoy your days. So yeah, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I want to touch base a little bit more on the journey. Yeah. So for other franchisees who are watching our network, maybe year ones, maybe ones that have just started, maybe people that are looking to get into franchising. Yeah. How was that transition to become because you was already a business owner with the property stuff, is that right?
Yeah.
So then you're running your property business.
My wife runs that all now. I've stepped away. She's doing a fantastic job. But
we need to clarify that, because if she watches, you don't clarify that.
I wanted to clarify that because I'm not taking any credit for that anymore.
Absolutely.
We built it together, but she's fully running the ship now. So
love it, absolutely love it. So at that moment, you've taken a franchise. What was year one like? And what was the hardest things about it? What did you learn the most? If you could go back and do year one now, how would you do it differently? What are the learnings?
To be honest, Bill, I feel like my opinion in this is always going to be slightly more tainted because I had the experience from head office going in.
Yeah.
But one thing I would say is be prepared to work. Don't become a business owner and then think, oh, I'm a business owner. And I'm sure Simon won't mind me saying this. I remember when Simon's my business partner in South Yorkshire. When we first started the business, within about 6 months, he said, I'm not going to work Fridays anymore. You have no right. You haven't earned that right. So my advice would be earn the right. The good things will come. You have to work hard. I know an age-old issue is people say, I haven't got time to scale because I've got 25 hours of coaching, work in the evening, work in the morning.
Yeah.
In your lunch break, you make those calls. I'm sure you're the same. I would go to a taster, I'd be strategic, I'd park up my car somewhere and I'd make calls in the car. I'd book tasters in there. I actually remember, I was in Edgeware once, I remember. I finished a taster, I come out to my car, I called a nursery, I booked a taster for that same afternoon.
And then went.
And I drove to the taster session.
Yeah.
And just, have that understanding of you. They need to have that understanding that you're no longer being paid for your time, and your hard work may not initially lead to results.
Yeah.
Get out of that mindset of, I'm going to be paid X amount for this hour of work, but it will pay back tenfold in the future, that hard work you're putting in now.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say to year ones. Just be ready to graft and learn.
No, I definitely agree. And then the reason to do that, this is what's so brilliant now about franchising. I see a stat recently from Barclays, and it was like something like, I think it was like 70% of UK businesses are not trading after year 5. But it was something like 80% of franchises are trading at year 5. And I think that the big reason for me there is that maybe if you're in year 1 of a new business and you have to sacrifice, but you can't see what it's going to make happen, then you start thinking, is this worth it? Maybe I'll just go back to employment, X, Y, and Z. But for me now, if I'm in year 1 and you're telling me, Chris Lindsey's telling me as a year 1 to sacrifice and to work hard, and I go, well, why should I do that, Chris? And then you go, well, look at my P&L for this year. I've had 45% growth. I'm nearly at £1 million turnover. X, Y, Z. I've got multiple units. Then then surely they go, okay, yeah, I'm going to sacrifice. I can see why. I can see what happens if I do that and give that sacrifice. Obviously, you've got to do the right things. You've got to work the right way. I just think it's being strategic in the way that you work as well. So for me, I remember when I first started my business, and if I could go back in time now, my first sports coaching business, I would do a billion things differently. But to explain the mindset that you're talking about was, I would never allow myself to send invoices during the workday. So I was like, that can happen in the evening. That doesn't need to happen at 2:00, because 2:00's the only time I can talk to a prospective new client. I can't talk to a prospective new client at 8 p.m. So I'm going to do the work at 8 p.m. that I can't, that is like the stuff that I don't need to do during the day. And it was just being strategic with the way I worked, and that really helped me. And I think, but that comes with sacrifice. So definitely agree with that.
You're opening my mind now to sort of more advice to give as well. Plan your day. If you work in an organisation, your week is mapped out for you in theory. And sometimes I feel that when people start a business, they twiddle their thumbs and it's like, oh, just, today maybe for that, plan your day and fill your day up. Obviously, maybe have a lunch break, but fill it up. And the last thing I'll say, do and learn the hard thing. It's so easy because the majority, I have to assume, not all the time, but the majority of people that may look to purchase territories and start franchises are those that have probably done a bit of coaching. They enjoy it. Oh, I'm good at this. I want to run my own coaching company. Oh, excellent. Superstar Sport will show me the blueprint for how to do that. But then it's very easy, the human brain, it very easily reverts back to, I know how to coach. So once I've got my 20 hours, I'm just going to coach and just keep coaching. Learn the new skill, do the hard thing, and everything that the network does to support with that is there for you.
Definitely,
So just embrace it, take the learnings, listen to yourself, listen to some of the more seasoned franchisees, because we're all there to support and we're all there to help. Yeah,
no, completely agree. And we've got like that is such a regular transition for franchisees in year 1. It's like, especially when they come from that coaching background and they want to be more of a hands-on deliverer early on because it makes profit early on. And they're like, they get to that point where it's like, well, I'm coaching 30 hours a week and earning, say, £5,000 a month. I don't need to pass that work on. I'm fine doing that. It's like, well, you're never going to grow again. You're never going to get to the point where you get to be at the moment, you're just going to continue being a sole trader. It's like, let's get to the business ownership, the brilliant moments about it. And also, I always try and use the point of like, anyone who's in coaching, I believe, you're in this game because you ultimately care about the children. Yeah. So if you want to impact as many children as possible, you need to impact as many people as possible to impact as many children as possible. You can't just do it all by yourself because you're limited at that point. You want 15 Chris Lindseys out there buying into who you are as a person, your core values, buying into what we do from Superstar Sport perspective, and working with hundreds of children each week, thousands of children each week, and you're ultimately them responsible as a business, them coaches are responsible as a team, you are the unit responsible for hundreds of thousands of children getting active every single week. And that to me is so super impactful. But yeah, no, 100% completely agree with that. Where are you at the moment? Like, talk to me about where the business is at the moment. How do you think the last year's gone? What kind of you don't have to talk about numbers, but what kind of numbers are you doing?
It's fun.
How do you feel Superstar Sport, Northwest London, South Yorkshire, like the surrounding territories that you currently operate in? How's it all going?
How long we got? No, I believe in transparency. I don't believe in making out that, bless you, that everything's perfect. But I actually had a bit of a struggle to the start of the year, Bill, to be honest. But not from a business perspective, from a personal perspective, I just couldn't get going.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was just because, again, the more you scale, contentment starts to sit in.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing? That's another conversation for another
Yeah.
day. Is it bad to feel happy and content and actually think, actually, I'm all right here. I'll sit here for a bit. But how's it going? No, things are great. I read this once, and I think I still do believe it. Every time something gets bigger by 3, whether it's a turnover team, something has to change in the organisation because there's like a tweak needs to be made. I feel like our SLT are great at the moment. I really do. I know we done a lot of work last year at the conference, didn't we? With like the Ops Gorilla, was it?
We called it the Angelo.
The Operations Gorilla.
The Operations Gorilla.
That's working well. We've just recently, 6 months ago, brought in a sales representative that actually helps with South Yorkshire and North West London and other areas. She's prospering really well, which is great. She's finally starting to do some numbers. It's taken a while for her to get engaged and learn, but she's doing well now.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what, Bill? Because all we talk about, not all we talk about, but with yourself or with Leon or Ange, is Superstar Sport. For the listeners, I don't really know how to talk about the business and how it's doing without talking about logistical challenges.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
absolutely. And no, I completely agree.
I don't know, yeah.
No, 100%. Well, look, I'll do it for you.
Go on.
I'll talk for you.
Go on.
So you've had over 40% growth.
Yeah, okay.
In Northwest London and other surrounding areas. Turnover for them areas is just under 700,000.
Yeah.
You've had over 50, I think it's 51% growth in South Yorkshire or something along them lines. Turnovers at about 160, 170. So you're looking at about a combined turnover across multiple territories of about 870 to 900 grand, and a growth of about 35%, which is absolutely sensational. So ultimately, 4% of UK businesses do £1 million in turnover a year. Only 4%. So you're nearly there.
I'm
nearly
so
there.
special.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. No,
I'll get you a 4% key ring when you get there. When you get there, £1 million. So there's been huge growth there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's been huge growth, in particular in South Yorkshire, in regards to new wraparound. Obviously, there's been a huge incentive from government in funding for wraparound, and you've had a massive win there. Can I just say something? I'm showing how good a network manager I am here because I'm do you know what?
We have to do your research,
yeah,
Bill.
mate. I do it.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
the businesses. I know the territories.
Yeah.
Been huge growth in South Yorkshire when it comes to wraparound. Some big opportunities have been secured there, working with local authority and stuff like that, as well as HAF, which has been brilliant as well. You've purchased a new territory. Actually, one of our delivery companies, St Albans. I say one of ours. We had a territory in St Albans, which you purchased from head office, with which will obviously increase revenue for next year because that only started in September. So actually, you'll have an uplift next year as well because you'll have another half a year's worth of financial performance on that. And that's talking about the numbers. Secondly to that, the coaching team, the team on the ground are delivering some incredible stuff. Unbelievable stuff. We've got a 4.9 star Trustpilot, but even better than that, I know you had a recent camp assessment by the team here. I think it was a 47 out of 50 from head office, which was super. So you're delivering some brilliant stuff on the ground as well. And the biggest compliment for your year, and it's brilliant how you forget these things because you are. Because you're living it and you're an incredible. But this is the number one thing: is that your retention rate was like something like 96%.
Oh wow! I knew it was high.
Yeah,
I didn't know the percentage. I knew it was high.
It was just absolutely exceptional, and that to me is the real magic. The growth is brilliant. The growth is brilliant, but the retention rate to me is exceptional. What do you put that down to? Like, what would you say? Like, obviously the coaching team.
Yeah. I honestly, our coaching team, they do a great job day in day out. They really do. Again, I keep banging the same drum, but it just goes back to having relationships with our clients. They understand we're human. Everyone makes mistakes. We make mistakes as a business, but it's how we proactively manage those mistakes.
Yeah.
And we listen to their concerns and action them. You know, if we get a complaint about a coach, as soon as possible. What we don't do is we won't just automatically say, okay, no problem, we'll change the coach.
Yeah.
We want to fix the issue. We don't want to pave over the cracks.
Yeah.
We're going to come to the school, we'll assess the coach. We'll put a plan in place to make sure you're happy. Then we have that follow-up meeting. How did you feel this went? Have you seen improvements? So it's about that follow-up. And just again, showing genuine care, doing little things, attending. And to be honest, I don't do it as much as I used to because time is a factor. Going to school fetes, turning up at sports days, like unpaid, playing Father Christmas at nurseries. I used to love it.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. So yeah, retention's, in my opinion, is just down to that. But I just think the great work we're doing as a team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously the coaches on the ground, on the front line, are delivering some absolutely incredible stuff, like smashing it, like just really super. For me, like your superpower as a business owner and as a business is the rapport that you build. And what I loved that you mentioned there about wanting to help coaches who look. This is gonna be a massive moment in podcasting history. Guess what?
Go on.
We get complaints from some of our clients. We're not perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like, this not. I love it. Like, we're not a perfect business. We get complaints. It happens. But what you just said there was absolutely perfect. We are not going to get a complaint from a client and then just go, okay, we're going to change it and fix it. It's like, no, we are also working with young people. We are working with young coaches and teachers who want to get better and want to develop. And along that journey, at some level, they're not going to get things perfectly right every time. Maybe they won't deal with behaviour management in the most perfect way every single time. X, Y, Z. There's some non-negotiables, by the way. If they get safeguarding wrong, then we're making changes.
Timekeeping,
because it's non-negotiable, absolutely. But you're so right. We also are desperate to work with young people when it comes to helping them develop as coaches and stuff like that. And I know that's something that you're really good at, something that you're really passionate about. Is you're very fair. You're very
sometimes too fair. but yeah.
And I think that's brilliant. I think that's brilliant. What's the worst thing about being a business owner?
Insomnia. No, worst thing about being. Initially, it was the unknown, but I'm used to it now.
Yeah.
Are we going to have these clients next year? Are we going to continue to make the same income? Also hard conversations, like, being such an emotive person and valuing relationships.
Yeah.
Sometimes having that hard conversation with a team member and understanding it might end with them losing respect for me or disliking me, whether that's through my words or, a lot of the time it might be, it's horrible things like, unfortunately, we've had too many issues. We've tried to work with you. We no longer have any work for you. As a young person, that's really hard to hear. And immediately, rather than, not all young people, they may think, rather than maybe looking at what they could have done better, the hatred immediately goes towards me. Because I love being loved, Bill. I don't like being hated.
Yeah.
Especially when I think it's unjust.
Yeah.
So I think having hard conversations is a difficult part of business.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tough thing when you've got to feedback to people that are trying their hardest. Ultimately they've got loads to learn.
Yeah.
That is a tough one. But
yeah,
I think doing it the best way you can is all you can get out of it. I think that's ultimately where you go with that. What would you say is the best thing about business ownership?
I've genuinely made some fantastic, not just within HQ, but people that I work with, friends that I would consider, we never know, lifelong friends, but friends that will come over to mine for a barbecue in the summer.
Yeah.
Made some fantastic friends, seeing them develop as people, as not always as coaches, usually, because a lot of, it's usually developing other skills. And then from a sort of inward perspective, just the pride it gives me every morning to wake up and know that we've got so many team members out there impacting the children.
What are the things that you think people take for granted about business ownership? Like, and it's a tough one because maybe we're taking it for granted as well. But one for me is like not having to put in an annual leave request.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's like don't even talk about that. Like that is, I take that for granted. I don't think about that.
No, I do. Like, I find it wild. Obviously, in the industry, and we know a lot of teachers, and someone was like, "Oh, I can't go to my friend's wedding because it's term time."
Yeah,
that's wild to me.
Yeah,
it's one of my best friends. Oh, you should be able to go. You can't take holiday.
Yeah,
like you've said, we have the option.
Yeah,
to just say, this is the most important thing in my day today.
Yeah.
Whereas people that work within organisations don't have that luxury.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And even just like, I'll circle around here.
Yeah.
Not having a start time, not having a finish time, like not having that. But then I probably start earlier than everyone.
Yeah, I was
and I probably
say,
finish later than everyone.
Exactly. It's your choice though.
Yeah, no, but it is still your choice. It isn't. Yeah, no, good point. But no, them choices are. I think having choices.
Yeah, I think take for granted having choice. Yeah, I think that's the main takeaway.
Absolutely.
Because I know people earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
Hate their jobs.
Yeah.
Up at 6, and again, I'm not saying I'm not up at 6, but up at 6 every morning, home from the office at 8.
Yeah.
Dislike it, but they're now in a position where they feel trapped because they have they're used to that earning capacity, and there's nothing they can really do to get out of that. So
yeah, we spoke a lot like at the beginning about like say young coaches or young people. We spoke about your experiences when it comes to like the jobs you've done as a young person in sports coaching and stuff like that. What advice would you give to young people today around like you're a successful person, you're a business owner across multiple businesses, you're doing really well and you should be really proud of what you're doing, you've got a beautiful wife, you're building an incredible life. Like, what advice would you give to young people?
I don't want to use that find your why because I think it's very like throwaway.
Yeah.
But I think, and it's really difficult as a young person, I think, to have this awareness. But perhaps find your level, and I don't mean from a financial perspective, but what is worth the sacrifice to you?
Yeah.
So I can't remember the name of the gentleman on the podcast, but he's a money management person, and he says even if you don't earn a lot of money, you can still enjoy the things in life that you enjoy. Find the things you enjoy and spend money on those, and then maybe cut back in other areas.
Yeah.
So this is from a lifestyle perspective. I'll speak about work and stuff in a minute, but I think find what makes you happy and do more of it.
Yeah.
And try not to, because I do it myself, don't play the comparison game.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's a dangerous, dark hole. And I got rid of Instagram for that reason. And now I feel like I'm doing it on LinkedIn.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah. So understand people will show you what they want to show you.
Yeah. Joe, what? I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Around like the comparison game. And I kept away from social media for a long time, but I've actually gotten back in the last 3 or 4 weeks because I just feel like digital world, like we're trying to build the company, the brand, even personal brands and stuff like that. And I do think it's needed. But the comparison game is totally right. And definitely LinkedIn. There's some competitors that we've got, yeah. And you probably know you are competitors, yeah, they annoy me so much. And do you know why they annoy me? Because they're doing a brilliant job. They're doing a brilliant job. And genuinely, and I think we're doing a brilliant job, and I think they're doing a brilliant job. And you compare yourself against them and stuff like that. But I just keep trying to remind myself that I'm not in competition with them. It's my life, and what I want to get out of my life is important. And same with you, and same with the other franchise directors in our network and stuff like that. But just a shout out to the other sports coaching companies that I see that are making me jealous. Sometimes, well done, keep doing it. You're driving me to be better, and I hope I'm driving you to be better as well. But no, you're totally right. Totally right.
From a work perspective for young people, I think, again, like you said, we spoke about it, we touched on it earlier. Understand that there is an entry fee and don't think that everything has to go your way right now.
Yeah.
Do the miles, I don't mean that literally, but, take the SHIT, I feel that it's character building. Because then as you grow, you'll become more resilient. Even if you are entrepreneurial as a young person, by working with other people and you taking things, doing things you don't necessarily want to do.
Yeah.
Understand that even when you have that entrepreneurial or business journey, you're going to have to do things you don't want to do.
You are that is 1 billion% right. I couldn't agree anymore. It's so right. That entry level apprenticeship mindset around it. I'll give an example. Yeah. So 2 years ago, I love Superstar Sport. I love our business. I love everything we do. I love the support that we give to children. I love how fun we make it. But I've got a personal attachment, a personal love for professional football, for football. I wanted to be a pro footballer. I wasn't good enough. It is what it is, yeah. And a couple of years ago, I was like, I want to get back in the game. I want to get back involved. So I was like, I need to do my UEFA B. Yeah. I need to get onto the course. I need to be accepted on the course. How can I do it? So I emailed a load of professional football clubs. Bearing in mind, I'm a 28-year-old man at the point whose network is doing 3, 4, 5 million pound in annual revenue. And I emailed professional football clubs saying, I'll come for work and work for free and pick up cones for you. One of the clubs got back to me, Leyton Orient, went and worked there for a year, completely free of charge, picked up cones, just done 1 week. A coach asked me, can I count to 10? I was like, yeah, mate, he didn't read it like that, but it's funny. So I had to count to 10 in a possession drill, which was great. But no ego. Yeah. Didn't pretend I shouldn't be here. I'm too good for this. It was like, no, I've got a goal that I want to do that. Done it. Got my UEFA B. Now I'm delivering sessions there and taking a lead coach at an age group and really enjoying it and having fun with it. And it isn't about the money and it isn't about anything other than just I really enjoy football and I love football and it was a personal goal of mine. But at that point, it was like, let's just do it for free. And do you know what? It might be different because I had the financial means to be able to do it for free and give up my time. Yeah. But I think that's the point, isn't it? It's what can you do to get what you want? Not what do people have to give you to get what you want. What can you do to get what you want? And it might be to go and work here for free. It might be to go and follow someone around, find a mentor. Yeah. It might be to go and spend time with like high performing people. Read a book, self-development. Like there's so many things that you can do that will get you there. Yeah. But it takes sacrifice, it takes hard work. Yeah,
I look at it now, but I think about when I was at head office, and again, it's ludicrous. And I wouldn't, we used to have sessions dotted all over the place, as you know. For anyone, we don't know if anyone knows the geography, but I live in Hertfordshire, like around St Albans Way. And I used to, at the time I was living in Edgware, I used to drive an hour and 10 minutes to go to Colchester on a Friday to do a half an hour session. Yeah. And I used to get a £5 petrol money. But you know what? I'd done it. Yeah. But I feel that maybe if I didn't do that, Angelo might have thought, he might have thought because I'd done it, oh, do you know what? Chris has got a bit of work ethic there. Yeah. Let's just have a punt at him with the ops manager job. Yeah. If I didn't take that, and of course there are employers out there that will, manipulate people and just use people for their own gain. But I just believe, there you go, piece of advice. Everything you do in your job, even if you don't enjoy it, do it to the best of your ability at all times.
Personal standards. Have really high personal standards. Completely agree. No matter what it's doing, even if you've given notice in at a job, have the most brilliant notice period. Don't turn them standards down. Keep working because people remember those moments. And you're right. We have to wait. You have to, as employers now, I don't want to be sending somebody 75,000 miles to do 20 minutes worth of coaching.
Yeah, disclaimer, we don't do that anymore. No, we've learned.
We've been there, we've done it, we understand how it feels. I've been on the other side of it. All of these things, you're totally right. But it does take like a level of hard work to move up the ladder. And an example of that would be, remember the amount of lates we used to do in the office? We always make sure our team are like, supported financially, be it overtime or whatever, if they decide to stay late nowadays as an SLT team. However, back then, we never got that. But do you know what? The grind we showed, the work ethic we showed, and there's two things to that. I think we had very high personal standards, and I think we wanted to do the best job. Actually, there's three things. So our personal standards, we absolutely loved working with each other. Be it Calvin, be it yourself, be it like Leon in the office, Ange, like we loved being in there together. But further to that, it was like Ange inspired us to want to stay. Yeah. Like he made us feel brilliant.
Like
yeah, it didn't feel like work. And he bought a lot of pizza.
Like, why? Yeah. No, it's like, why are you not home? It's 8 o'clock. Look, I'm in the office. Are you sure you? Yeah, I am in the office. Are you getting paid? No. Yeah, but I want to be here. I'm enjoying being here. Yeah. But I think that's why I said, for me, it's a bit tainted because I picked that work ethic up there. So when I started it with the franchise, if I'm going to do it for someone else, of course I'm going to do it for my own franchise, you know? Whereas some people don't have that 9 to 5 mentality if you're going to run a business.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree.
But also,
completely agree.
take a day off sometimes, Bill.
Yeah.
Like, I do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just say, I'm going away next week.
Yeah.
And, you know, but know when, I think I've heard you say it before, know when to be in gear 2 and know when you need to go to gear 6.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is so it. And it's been a recent conversation we've had with new franchisees, and we've been using that analogy. There's days when you can stay in gear 2 and 3. Absolutely. No one can live in gear 6 or gear 5 or whatever the top gear is. And the reason you can't is because it's burnout. It's not achievable, and you end up hating it and resenting it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a superpower. I'm telling you, it's a superpower. If you can turn that dial up, if you can go to gear 6 one day and have one of those weeks, a gear 6 week, I'm telling you, that's when you start outworking people.
Yeah.
You start, your efficiency goes through the roof, and it really drives your business.
On that as well, Bill, what I figured out, and it's sort of evidence that I think they should trial this in more countries. I think the working week's too long, personally. When I was at head office, you know, our model, a lot of the time I would do an after-school club, which means I'd leave the office at 2:30, which means the hours I'm in the office from, I had to get all my work done.
Yeah.
But the days when I was in until 5 and I didn't have an after-school club, I'd done the same amount of work.
Yeah.
I'll take a longer lunch break today. Yeah. But I had those 5 hours and I was productive and I got it all done.
Yeah, you'll be surprised at what you can do.
Yeah, when Well, out of my mates, again, you know, work in the office on Fridays, the banter flies around the group chat. I'm not doing anything today. I've done everything. I don't even know why I'm here. Because they're just like, it's Friday. Yeah. I have to stay here till 5, but I'm actually not lifting a finger from 3. Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah.
Just give people's work hours.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, well, there's an argument for it.
A lot would need to change, obviously. You know, you need to obviously think about, opening hours and stuff. But yeah.
No, absolutely. Love it.
People be happier.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. What advice would you give to existing franchise directors just about your whole journey? Like, what would you say is like some of your biggest learnings from it, from business?
Just again, it's feel like I'm repeating myself. Hard work, follow the process, and you know, if you are unsure, ask as well. Yep. I sometimes I give myself advice there. Sometimes ego does get in the way. Sometimes I'll see something from head office and I think, oh, you know, I'm doing this. I don't need to do that. But I'll actually try it and I go, oh, well, that's worked really well. Yeah, I should implement that more. So yeah, just. And understand you're not alone. No question is too silly. Yep. Use the network. There you go. Best advice. Use the network.
Yeah, I love that. Completely agree. The best performing franchisees in the last few years have been the ones that have used the network. I completely agree.
Like Ish. Shout out to Ish.
Shout out to Ish.
Loves a question, but we love it.
Absolutely. Massive growth. I think from a percentage perspective, had the biggest growth in the last year. With huge growth, and just because he reaches out to the network, be it me, be it sometimes he sends 4-minute voice notes.
He loves it.
Yeah, he loves a long voice note. But I know
hello, Chris.
Yeah. But also contacting other franchise directors.
We love you.
And speak to them. So absolutely love that. Really love that. Are you happy to be a business owner? Is it something that
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I didn't even think about that.
No, I love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then just a final few, because we're going to wrap up in a few minutes, is talking of the industry, sports coaching, what's your passion? Why are you in it? Why are you involved in sport, exercise? You are a gym goer. You are physically active. How do you think it links to performance, so high performance? How do you think it links to positive mental health, positive physical health? And why what's passion? Where's your passion in the industry? Why are you here?
Well, like, you know, again, we've touched on all these subjects, but I think that whether it be gym or whatever sport you want to play, I think it starts discipline from a young age. I think it's really important to get involved with something socially, mentally. I feel fantastic after a gym session. I believe every school should implement. I know they do like a lot of the daily mile and stuff, but some schools that actually said, "Oh, we don't want activity in the morning." They get too wound up. No. They will listen better. Yeah. If they have, as long as they do a cool down. Yeah. So for mental health, I think it's fantastic. Concentration. I think for bringing people together, like Arsenal are my hope this year. I hope so much we win the league. I just think it's really important to to be involved in, you know, whether you're a spectator, it's great.
Yeah.
Obviously, whether you're playing, important to be involved
Community.
in sport. Yeah, community. There you go. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. I've answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely. So passionate.
And why am I here?
Yeah.
Because I love it. All of the above. Because I love sport. I love exercise. I love, you know, giving back and helping the community, being in the community.
Yeah.
And just being a part of it.
You're making an incredible impact, mate. An incredible impact. Final question. What year did you buy? No, I'm going to ask a question which leads to the final question. What year did you start your franchise?
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
2018, Chris Lindsey, we go back in time. Do you buy your Superstar Sport franchise again? Is it something that are you happy you bought it? And is it something that you would do again?
Yes. Don't need to give reasons. Yes. I think we've spoken about around the reasons, just the network.